Hello again, Bill Jones, recapturefederalism.com, recapturefederalism.com, being suppressed again, still, but we do another presentation. President Trump, Part 9, Notice of Treason. As they say in Chicago, the fix is in. That's just one word, the fix is in. That's just like it's one word, go along and get along. You've in business, you know what that is. Go along and get along, yeah, pay the politicians off, and the fix is in. And oh, I'm from Chicago. We got it. You built in Chicago, you know who you pay off in Chicago. You paid off somebody, didn't you? Yeah, but they want you to take your name down off the building down there. Yeah, they did. But we'll continue on with the broadcast. It was from October 22nd, 2016, rigged system. As they say in Chicago, the fix is in. Hello again, Bill Jones, recapturefederalism.com, recapturefederalism.com on the net. And we're going to talk about communism today, and you hear this, pass this along to all your friends if you would, share this if you would. I am being suppressed by the internet and Google and the communist democratic system, because they are my enemies. They are the enemies of we the people, and they don't want competition. They don't like competition. They don't like competition. It's right in their manifesto. We're going to be talking about communism today, of course, and we're going to talk about the hornet's nest that Mr. Trump, who is not and never held a public office, has never taken an oath of office, has started up a hornet's nest because he's going to see how the election goes. He's going to see how the election goes. Well, you know, I'm going to tell you something. And the title of this presentation is Rigged System, or as they say in Chicago, the fix is in. And the fix is in, that's one word, it said. The fix is in. That goes along with go along to get along. The fix is in. And why do I say that? Decades upon decades of fraud, public corruption has been going on. It's going on now. Election fraud, it's going on now. It's going on now. It's going on now, and has been going on for years. You notice my graphic I have up. Communist criminal class. Political parties are in the communist criminal class. They're criminals. And that includes Barack Obama, who's a communist. Hillary Clinton, who's a communist. Yeah. And I gave notice of treason January 25th, 2016. Still haven't heard from anybody. And then I filed complaints, criminal complaints, with the Illinois State Police and the FBI. I believe it's Robert J. Anderson, the special agent in charge of the Chicago office of the FBI. Haven't heard from any of them, which means since I got notice that they received it, that they are committing treason also, specifically these people, and we'll have to go from there, because I'm not going to let it drop. because I do it in memory of 37,000 Americans killed in Korean War, 58,000 plus killed in Southeast Asia, by communists. And the progressives will say, oh, no communism. There's been communism for 160 some years in this country. Insurrection, as you see the title of the graphic, Silent Secret American Insurrection and Revolutionary Movement. Communistic revolutionary movement. That's right. Now, let me tell you a story about voter fraud. When it was legal, and it was legal to buy votes, it just became illegal, I guess, in the 60s. My father worked 17 years at Swift & Company in the Chicago Union Stockyards. He worked for Swift & Company. In his latter years that he was there, before they moved out to Iowa in 57, 58, whenever it was. I guess it was 1956, told me about Election Day. And that's when they just had one day election. Now they have several days of election, a couple weeks, so they can really do their fraudulent crap now. The Democratic Party primarily. Probably the Republicans do a little bit too, but primarily the Democratic Party does it. In the inner cities. Back in 1956, he told me, election day, day before the election, all these vehicles showing up at Swift & Company in Chicago and other Armor Company and what have you. All these people would show up. Yeah. Well, who were they showing up? Well, they were aldermen, precinct captains, committeemen, party hacks, picking up 5-pound hams, loading up their cars and panel trucks. I guess it's 56, they didn't have no station wagons yet, I don't think, but if they did, they'd be filling them up too, to take them out to the voting booths in front of the voting places and be handing out those 5-pound hams, buying votes. Legal then in 56. And I think even in 60, right after the 60 election, or just before the 60 election, they came out with law. It's now against law. It's now against the law. Now, you go to Wikipedia. Wikipedia I have trouble with. I'm going to be doing a presentation on them. Again, I did one a year ago, I guess it was. And that was a secondary one I did on about 3 years ago on Wikipedia, and how they're pro-communist in their reporting. And I'm going to do, I found some more stuff that they're pro-communist with. Propaganda. So I'm going to, I say this, probably, you won't see any communism, is there? Okay. Yeah, because that's what they do. They fraudulent misrepresentation of their articles that they have on here, and they do it by silently not pointing out communist manipulation. But anyway, we can look up Wikipedia, electoral fraud, okay, and we'll take it for the words. What they're saying is true. Now, electoral fraud, election manipulation, or vote rigging is illegal interference with the process of an election. Acts of fraud affect vote counts to bring about an electronic election result whereby increasing the vote share of a favored candidate, depressing the vote share of a rival candidates, or both. What constitutes election fraud under law varies from country to country. So it happens outside the United States too. Of course, you have world communism and the Democratic parties, and I've done a presentation on that. They're in the Progressive Alliance. We won't say any more about that. Many kinds of election fraud are outlawed in electoral legislation, but others in violation of general laws, such as those banning assault, harassment, or libel. Although technically the term electoral fraud covers only those acts which are illegal, the term is sometimes used to describe which acts are legal but considered morally unacceptable. Now, that's where it was morally unacceptable in '56 to be handing out hams, but it was legal. It then became a class 4 a felony when they passed laws regarding it. Okay? You got specific methods, a list of threats to voting systems or electoral fraud methods considered as sabotage is kept by the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Well, you're going to accept they have National Institute of Standards and Technology keeping track of rigging. Man, these Democrats and their communist propaganda will tell you anything and they expect you to believe it. They're lying son of a bitches. Lying Hillary, crooked Hillary, crooked Obama, crooked Democrats, electorate manipulation. Okay? And it's manipulation of demography. The demographic, and that's what we have going on for 20 years in Illinois. I'm in a congressional district which has been manipulated. It's popularly known as gerrymandering. And what they did, in Gutierrez filed a lawsuit in 92 or whatever it was, and to say that it's legal, the gerrymandering is legal, and the Democrat majority of the Illinois Supreme Court ruled in his favor, and they made manipulation of the demographics law. So I have Bobby Rush, a communist, a known communist, founder of the Black Panther Party of Illinois, member of the Black Panthers, was a deputy defense minister in 1968 or thereabouts, Illinois. We had all that anti-war with pro-communist crap back then. Hate by the Democratic Party. Yours truly, Hillary Clinton. So that's what we had, a gerrymandering. Disenfranchisement, that's what that is. I have been disenfranchised along with all the voters in Illinois because it's all the system, they draw the maps. They've got the division of opposition support. I don't know if they're talking about this, but there's fusion, a political fusion in the guidelines of the Communist Party 1921, Section 2 under democratic centralism. They call it fusion, political fusion. Instead of two political parties fighting, there'll be a third party come in and will draw off the one party. It is legal. Political fusion is legal in 7 states, including the state of Illinois. Oh yeah. Legal, legal, legal. Intimidation, attacks at poll, illegal threats, violence, also violence, the Trump rallies, violence at the Trump rallies. Oh yeah, now we see videos of that, don't we? Yeah. Vote buying. This is what we're talking about. Most famous episodes of vote buying came in the 18th century England, where 2 or more rich aristocrats spent whatever money it took to win. And that's what you have with Hillary. Oh, she's getting the money from Wall Street. And what Bernie said, wasn't he? Yeah, you get the money from Wall Street. The bankers. Oh yeah. Misinformation. Oh yeah. Well, misinformation, like Trump. Now, I wasn't for Trump. I voted for Ted Cruz in the primaries. Now, if you wanted to get rid of Trump, but you see they didn't want to get rid of Trump. If you wanted to get rid of Trump, why didn't you release that stuff in the primaries? About the so-called sexual abuse. 9, 10 women coming out all of a sudden, a couple weeks before election. That's misinformation. Fraudulent Hillary. Criminal Hillary. Criminal Democratic Party. Misleading and confusing ballot papers. Ballot stuffing. Oh boy. Ballot stuffing. Oh, we get dead people voting in Illinois. That's notorious. It's traditional. Misrecording of votes. You know, I get back to this disenfranchisement. In fact, I'm going to be voting, early voting next week. And I'm going to be calling the state's attorney's office, the federal court, Northeast Illinois, the FBI, and the local police and state police to come out to and file vote fraud charges and treason charges against the system, the democratic system. Okay, I'm going to be doing that this next week, and we'll keep you posted on this. Misuse of proxy votes, destruction and invalidation of ballots, tampering with electronic voting machines. Now they're worried about hacking by the Russians. What difference does it make? Whether they say it's Russians, they'll say it's the Russians, but when they've been tampering already with the voting machines. Voting irregularities. Voter impersonation. That's your dead people voting. Artificial results. Making shit up. Certain districts in Philadelphia. One candidate gets no votes in some of these precincts. No votes. Come on. That's artificial results. Vote fraud in the legislature. Secret ballots, transparency. Oh, there's Mr. Obama, isn't he? He's going to be the most transparent president ever. He is a communist. And communists are not transparent because they're too busy with their communist propaganda and agitation. Okay. Now, I'm going to go back This is a Bing, which is Google too, I guess. I don't know. Vote buying. This is Representative Duncan, who's a Democrat. This is in the primary, Democratic primary, buying votes. So it's happening. It's happening. It's happening before Trump was even the nominee. Why shouldn't he want to wait and see? Why shouldn't he want to wait and see? Because the fix is in. The fix is in. The fix is in. Come to Chicago, watch the fix is in. Get along, go along to get along. Go along to get along. That's the mafioso saying. Bye.